Hi, this is Hagen. I'm going to show you how to take pomegranates and turn them into delicious pomegranate syrup. This is the extra thick and extra strong version. It's my favorite recipe, and I'm going to show you all the secrets involved, and you won't have any problems making this at home. Thank you for watching. Okay, the first thing on the list are pomegranates. Now I recommend that you go to your local nursery and buy a tree. They grow almost anywhere, and plant them. You're going to be waiting anyways if you don't have them for a couple of years. Then you can also go to your store and buy them. Right now they're in season, so as you can see the leaves are turning, so they're ripe right now, and it's a great time to get pomegranates. Okay, so after 10 or 15 years, your pomegranate trees are going to look like this. They're going to be mature, and they're going to give you about 100, 150 pounds of pomegranates. We have 2 trees here, and that should be plenty of fruit to keep you and your family busy for quite some time. Okay, so the only other thing that you have to worry about are critters, because once the critters know that you have pomegranates, when it comes to harvest season, they're really sneaky and smart. They'll even eat the back side of the pomegranates out, so it looks like you have a full tree of them. But when you go back there, you'll see that they're all gone, and it happens in a matter of weeks, so you have to pay real close attention. And you may have to find ways of getting rid of them. And that'll be for a later movie. Okay, so what I recommend is the best way to clean the pomegranates is just to take all the seeds out and put them into a really big bowl. There are other ways, but this is probably the best way because you can see the quality of the seeds and so forth. And what I recommend is to find a relative or some kids, your kids, if they've been bad, they haven't cleaned their room, they haven't done their homework, put them to work and let them remove all the seeds all day long until they're all done. And here's the reason why it should be done. So if you have a pomegranate and you don't cut it open and you take the juice out by other means, some of them are going to be rotten and you can't tell until you open them up. And so this is the main reason why you should take all the seeds out and put them into a bowl. I don't think you'd want to be eating this.
Hey Dad!
Hi Tamar, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey, where are you going?
To my room?
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I saw that text you sent today.
What text?
You know the text that I'm talking about.
Oh, that text?
Yep. You know what time it is?
No, I don't.
It's pomegranate time!
No!
Yep, I have the whole table set up for you. Come on and have a seat. There you go. Hang on a second, don't do nothing, because I went in the trash just for you. I dug out an old bag, cut a few little holes in it, and made a bib out of it for you. There we go. Now here's your pomegranate, and here's your bowl, and there's a bucket right next to you. And after you're done with that, it's time to do some homework.
Yes, I will do all my homework. I don't want to do any more pomegranates.
Okay, that's my girl. Okay, so the next thing on the list that you need is a really good blender. This is the Vitamix 5200. It has tons of power. It's actually made in the United States of America. I never thought it was possible, but we actually make blenders here. It's amazing. I'll tell you in a second why you really need one of these. Okay, so the reason why you need to have a really good mixer here is because you're going to take your old mixer and you're going to end up pretty much destroying it. And you don't want your wife to know that you destroyed the old one without having her buy a really nice one first. Then she won't mind. Okay, so what you do is you take the bottom part off the blender. Now, you take some pair of pliers and you bend up 2 of these blades until they're almost flat, like that. And then you can cut the other 2 off. So you only need 2 blades. They have to be flat. You do not want the cutting edge to be chopping up those seeds and blending them. You just want these little paddles here to slap those seeds silly and break the juice around them. You don't want the seeds to be destroyed because they will impart a flavor that you just don't want in your syrup. Now let's see here. Now the next step is we need to put the seeds and slap those seeds silly. And you can see this technique that I'm using here. And you want this to be about 3/4 of the way full. Maybe a little more than that. We need to add a little more. So here we go. That's about perfect there. So we put the lid on, of course, and what you want to do is you want it to go on the slowest setting, which is just, on this one it's called whip. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so after you blend that for a very short period of time, the next step is to take your screen, or excuse me, your strainer, and you pour it in there like that. Okay, so then just kind of roll this around a little bit. Kind of helps get the juice out of there. Kind of looks like a horror movie right now. So, as you can see, it kind of gets a little solidified as all the juice comes out. There we go. After you've gotten a lot of juice out this way, and it becomes a little more solid, you're going to use your hands to squeeze out the seeds. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of the juice out right now. So what you do is you start squeezing. Looks like you're killing a small animal here. And put the seeds in a compost pile. And if you haven't started a compost pile, then you should. Helps keep the stuff out of the trash, out of the landfills. And if you got chickens, hey, why not feed this to your chickens? Okay, so get all the juice out of this, and we'll see you in a moment. Okay, so the next step is after you squeeze and strain the first time, you need to do it again. So pour it into something like this measuring cup. Okay. Take your pomegranate juice, pour it into another cup. Use a fine strainer here, as you can see. Start pouring. This will help take out anything extra, any of the smaller little bits and pieces. And you want, oh, and by the way, 2 of those 2 containers of this gives you about 4 cups of juice. As you can see, this is 4 cups right here. Okay, for the next step, we need to put the pomegranate juice into a pot. So we'll turn the heat on, put it on high for now. I recommend you strain it again. The more times you strain it, the better. If you can find a smaller strainer, as in the size of the holes inside, that's even better. As you can see, there's still quite a bit of foam and things in here. Yeah, I could tell I caught some more cell structure in there. Okay, I have 4 cups of pomegranate juice in there, and guess what? We need 8 cups. Because we're going to take 8 cups and boil it down to 4 cups to make Hagen's extra special, extra strength pomegranate syrup. Okay, I need a total of 8 cups of pomegranate juice. So I have to do another 2 of these. For each one of these, you get about 2 cups of juice. Okay, so here are the last few cups needed. Again, you want to start off with 8 cups of pomegranate juice, and you want to boil it down to 4 cups. Not exactly sure how long that takes, but you know what? Might take an hour or so. But that's what you got to do if you want the best. Okay, so now you have to find a wooden spoon. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of wooden spoons. And what you got to do is smell which one ain't funky. Woo! I think this is the right one. We'll go with this one. Now look at that. Just brought up to a boil here, and you got to be careful. Got to make sure it doesn't boil over. And the most important thing is to try and get rid of the foam. So do whatever you can. Use a little strainer. I'll show you in a few minutes what I do to get rid of this foam. You want to do that before you add your sugar. Okay, so it's pretty important to try and get as much foam out of this as possible. So I take a little strainer like this and I just try to suck it out of there. There we go. See, and there you go. And just put it in here and get all that foam out of there. And now we are going to transfer this into another container. The reason being, I want to clean this container and then reuse it when I add the sugar. So that is about 4 cups total of pomegranate juice. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is transfer the juice into the pot that I just cleaned. Now the best thing to do is to strain it again. Always try to strain it whenever you can. Watch out because it's really hot. Ow, ow. There we go. Okay, for this next part, I'm going to show you the kudon. I don't know if that's Japanese or if it's Chinese, but it basically means that it's a secret or a secret technique. So the secret to my recipe for pomegranate syrup is called acid blend. Yes, it's not as in acid rock, it's not AC/DC. It's not the funky acid, that's not legal. So it is acid blend. You can pick it up in your wine store. This particular one is 50% tartaric, 30% malic, and 20% citric acid. So what you do is, I already know for my recipe I take about 2 heaping teaspoons of acid and I sprinkle it in there. Now this is really important that you need to put this in here. You could use citric acid if you want, or you could just squeeze some lemons in there. Okay, so now we are ready for the sugar. So Tamar, please help us. Would you pour 7.5 cups of sugar into the pot, please? And go ahead and stir that. Because if you let it sit there too long, if it's really hot, it's going to crystallize on the bottom there, and it's going to just make it a little bit harder for it to melt. So be careful there. Just slowly. Okay, now pour the other sugar in there. Like I said, a total of 7.5 to 8 cups of sugar. I'm sure that could probably kill a relatively good sized animal right now. Do not use GMO beet sugar, you know, the genetically modified beets, because you'll probably end up with some weird cancer down the road. Just use plain old good white sugar. Ooh, doesn't that look good? Ain't that color just amazing? Looks like vampire blood. Cool. So stir this really good until it comes into a full boil, okay? Okay, as you see, this is pretty much just about boiling right now. So I'm going to turn it down for 1 second because I want to make sure I have the right amount of acid in my pomegranate syrup. So we're going to taste this. That tastes really good. But you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit more acid blend in there. Maybe 1 more teaspoon, so that'll be a total of 3 teaspoons. And that will be great. Okay, so I just added some more acid to this. And that will be it. So it's like 3 teaspoons. Just let it come to a full boil and then try to take off as much foam as possible. And let it boil for a couple minutes. Okay, again, try to take out as much foam as possible, or else it's going to sit in your bottle. See what I mean? Look at that stuff. Okay, so this is the final step. This is where you put the syrup into the bottle. I recommend you get a wine screw bottle. Works well. I tried corking it, but you know that's kind of difficult and a pain. It's just better to get the screw top ones. So take the go like this. You want to use a funnel and just pour it in there. If you want to, you can even go ahead and try to strain it one more time. It looks pretty liquidy right now, but this is going to get extra thick in the bottle. Oh, and as if you didn't know, this makes about 2 bottles of Hagen special pomegranate syrup. So pretty much just fill it right up to the top. And it's actually amazing. Fill almost right up to the top. Close it up. When it cools down, take a look. And it's amazing because it actually shrinks. I know it sounds kind of weird, but Hagen's special pomegranate syrup actually shrinks. Oops. Hey, I overfilled it. I guess that's what I get for talking and pouring at the same time. Okay, so I spilled it a little bit. I then cleaned it up. Make sure you clean it up because you don't want any excess sugar on the outside that could maybe start to go get moldy and stuff like that. So close it up really good. And this bottle is super hot, so use something to move it because it's really hot. And that's one perfect bottle of extra dark Hagen's pomegranate syrup. Okay, so this recipe makes a little more than 2 bottles, and you can use any bottle you want. I'm using a water bottle now, so just the last bit's easy to pour in. It's going to make a little bit more than 2 wine bottles worth, so you can save the rest, put it in a jar, put it in the fridge. Do whatever you want with it. It's great with tea. It's amazing on pancakes. Oops, there we go, almost done. And there we go, at least I didn't spill it that time. See, and I got a little bit of extra there, left over. Okay, so just take the extra and save it. You don't want to throw it away because you work so hard to get this stuff. There you go. That's perfect. Just throw it in the fridge. It'll last a long time. Okay, so we have a little left. We're going to do a taste test. Here you go. I'll hold one in. Take a spoon. It's going to be a little hot, so be careful there. I can feel it getting thick already. Yeah? Yes. Just the right amount of sourness to it. It's amazing. Okay, as you can see, I'm completely done with Hagen's favorite, best pomegranate syrup, the extra, extra thick stuff. It's twice as strong as everyone else's. As you can tell, even the little kids like it. They can't even say a word. Ooh, look at that. It's really thick on the bottom too. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait for you to try it. Okay, I've received a lot of emails, a lot of text, one phone call, and also a tweet about why I'm wearing my Crocodile Dundee hat inside the house. Now, there's a technical reason for that, and that is called white balance. My camera just can't work correctly with its white balance unless I have my hat on. So here, I'll prove it to you right now.
Put it back on! Oh my god! No.
See? There you go. I told you.
Oh, phew. Hey, this is Smart again, and stay tuned because we'll be making pomegranate candy later on. See? It's delicious. Well, thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.